This year for video games has been kind of crazy when you consider the overwhelming success of something like Elden Ring or how much hype there's been for God of War Ragnarok. But something that's additionally sort of caught my eye is that there have been these tinier projects, little experimental games that maybe they're not the big headliners, but they're incredibly fun nonetheless. And that is Dragon Ball Breakers. This game is essentially Dead by Daylight meets Dragon Ball Z. It is a scary horror game that's set inside the Dragon Ball Z universe, and what's kind of surprising the most, it's pretty dang fun. But let's talk about how it works and some of the weird issues it does have. What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you would, please give this video a like. Let's see if we can get this video to 2,000 likes. Now, what is Dragon Ball Breakers? This game is an asymmetrical multiplayer survival horror experience. What that means is that every lobby is 8 different players, 7 survivors, and 1 hunter. Now, in this game, it sort of plays upon an aspect of the Dragon Ball Z universe that I think many of us have not considered, which is that inside DBZ we see crazy Super Saiyans and ultimate Kamehamehas, but a lot of times there is just normal people being completely screwed over by super godly alien beasties. So when you play this game, there are 3 separate hunters that can be played. There is Boo, there is Cell, and there is Frieza. Now in this beta version of the game that I've been playing this weekend, I've played about 4 hours of it so far, I only had access to Cell and Frieza. The way this game works though is that the 7 survivors are just trying to escape. Now to do this, you need to try and play a very deadly game of hide and seek. Now at the beginning of a match, the whole idea is that the 7 players are scattered across the environment. When it starts off, the enemy, the hunter, is usually pretty low level. So like if you're playing as Cell, Cell starts off in his little teeny tiny level form. For every person he manages to eat, he slowly levels up to become Cell's second form and eventually perfect Cell. Now as he does this, obviously he becomes faster, he becomes deadlier, and he is a much bigger menace. So as a normal person, just a random human, how is it even possible to survive? Well, this is the more interesting part of it. So when you're playing as these normal people, there's 3 separate ways that you can really fight back in a way. Now, they're not the best. You are definitely normal humans in a universe that wants to consume you, but there are 3 separate ways that you can actually survive a match, and let me tell you, all of them are pretty dang difficult. In most of the matches I've done, I died a terrible coward's death hiding in a cave. But to me, that's kind of the enjoyment of it. So whenever you're playing as the survivors, you need to scrounge up loot. While you're just trying to explore, you're going to find these big old glowing boxes, which will give you different randomized items. These can be things like a dragon radar, so you can find the Dragon Balls. You can find shields that'll make it so you can take an extra 1 or 2 punches from these super evil beasties. Or you can find special stuff like, I don't know, a freaking rocket launcher. But this does bring me to how it is you can escape. So there are 3 separate ways that you can get away. Now let's begin with what is definitely the easiest and most common way of escape, which is the time machine. So obviously in the Dragon Ball Z universe, people time travel constantly. Seems like there's more time machines than freaking cars. But in this, Super Trunks has placed a bunch of these keys in each of the different environments. The map is broken down into these different zones, so it's a bit easier to understand. There's like 5 different zones. Each zone has a special key hidden inside it. If your players, and there are 7 of you, manage to find all 5 of these time machine keys and activates them, then the super time machine shows up and you can fly away in it. Now, here's the funny part. When it comes to the super time machine, you can be an absolute jerk with this thing. So whenever it shows up, if you happen to be the person who puts in all the keys and jumps in it, you can fly away and leave everybody for dead. I've done it. It's funny to do. But the whole general objective is that there is a point system. The more of your fellow survivors that live, the more upgrades you're going to get. The more you're going to level up and get cool new unlockable cosmetics for customizing your particular survivor. But if you want to be a super jerk like me, you can just fly away instantly and say so long ta-ta. But let's talk about the other 2 ways that you can fight back, which is the Dragon Balls and the power-up system. So Let me start off by talking about the Dragon Balls because it's much easier, and then the a little bit more complicated but still very interesting power-up system after that. So, Dragon Balls, these are kind of scattered across the map. Now, gathering these up is actually pretty dangerous. Not only can they be at the bottom of lakes and inside of caves or inside of like underneath a mattress in a house and stuff, the problem is that the hunter is able to destroy parts of the map. I mean, Frieza has blown up planets. He has no qualms about laser beaming you to death. So while you're trying to explore and gather stuff up, these guys pretty much know where you're at. The more you gather up Dragon Balls, the more of an energy reading you put off, he is going to track you down one by one. Now, as these guys eat you, of course they're getting stronger, but the other problem is sort of a power creep. When the hunter is killing you, you can be permanently destroyed. Like, if you're just knocked out, that's like the initial stage, not a big deal. But if the hunter actually comes up and grabs your body, he can disintegrate you, which means you cannot be revived. Well, players who manage to get all the Dragon Balls allow you to grant wishes, which can either end the match. I think you can wish for the bad guy to just get disintegrated himself, or you can revive your friends. The main key to trying to get away, though, is definitely the time machine. The time machine is the easiest way to escape. Now, the final thing you can do is this power level system that is very, very random at times. So while you're collecting loot, you're definitely going to find tons and tons of these cubes, which give you like essentially the tiniest bit of super juice. If you consume enough of this, you get initially basic power levels. Now, sometimes when I used this, I would become Super Saiyan, so my custom character would get powered up, and for about 35 seconds I could fly around and shoot key balls and stuff like the Z Fighters. But other times, if I charged up even more than that, instead of just, being able to fly a short bit, for like 1 minute, I would become one of the Z Fighters, either Krillin or Goku, or in this case Piccolo, and you can fight back. Now, I was never able to fully do it, but while I was beating up the raider, it would actually say on screen that the raider's health is going down. Some of the random stuff you find in boxes is like rocket launchers and guns and grapple hooks and stuff. So it makes me think that although I haven't done it personally, it does seem like an alternate option is just straight up killing the hunter with you and all your teammates. Since there is 7 of you, I have strategically managed to stack up all of our power. We managed to get a bunch of money, and we managed to just, beat up the guy as best as possible, while our friends made the time machine and we all escaped. I like this whole power dynamic because honestly, this game is pure chaotic energy. It's not the biggest project, it's not the most thought out, it definitely has some balancing issues where I feel like people are going to be absolutely holding down Frieza and breaking his bitch ass legs. But as it currently stands, it's a very fun gimmick. Sometimes people use the gimmick in such a negative term. Right here, this game is a gimmick, but man, is it one that as a Dragon Ball Z fan and as a survival horror fan, I had a freaking blast with this. I actually was playing this on the couch and my girlfriend watched me for all 4 hours because it's just such a goofy concept that works. Hiding in a house while some sort of giant villain is blowing up every freaking block of a neighborhood bit by bit looking for you, trying to search for that next random crazy power-up that you hope is going to save the day. It's weird, but the game actually works, and I'm still impressed by that. I am personally glad that this game is only going to be $20, I think. It's not even a full price game. It's 1/3 the cost of a normal project. As a Dragon Ball Z fan, I'm definitely going to support it. I think this is freaking awesome. And if you're looking for something that's very bizarre, but will definitely entertain you, I think that as it currently stands, this beta has blown me away. I hope you actually check this game out. I hope it gets some attention because, unique ideas like this deserve your attention. My only real issue with the game itself as it currently stands is that sometimes the online lobbies would break, the queue would constantly reset. That was a little bit annoying. And the other problem I did bump into at times is that you could definitely tell that really, really, really good hunters could obliterate an entire team sometimes in about 95 seconds or whatever. This is one of those games that I think is going to have a bunch of rocky patches where the players are too good, then the monster is too good. Like, I'm kind of curious to see how this gets tweaked and tailored. But even if it ends up coming out in extremely goofy format, I'm super curious just to play it to see for myself how it gets broken even more so. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. What do you think about Dragon Ball The Breakers? Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. And respect the Dragon Balls. Polish the Dragon Balls. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.